If you've been watching the Spurs this season, you probably noticed one of two things. This team is good, or this team is really good. No matter which way you look at it, this San Antonio team isn't just some middle-of-the-pack squad. They're dangerous.
Well, we should ride swingers and put diamonds in our niggas. Her drink inside my lemonade till it look like a bitch. See, I come from the D where we got checks and we be flexing. If you ain't from my state, then you should know don't fuck with it. Hey, we always say we keep our witness.
For the majority of the season, the Spurs have not been very fortunate when it comes to health. There have been stretches where either Wemby, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, De'Aaron Fox have been out, and the Spurs were forced to play without them. And logically, you would think a team having that many key players missing throughout the season would fall down the rankings pretty quickly, especially in a Western Conference that is incredibly dangerous. And yet, that didn't happen because this team isn't built to survive, but built to win. With a little over a quarter of the regular season done, the Spurs are sitting as a top 2 seed in the Western Conference with a very impressive 21-7 record, which for some context is significantly more impressive for the Spurs specifically, because just last season they finished as the 13th seed with a 34-48 record. In a full 82 game season, they won just 34, and in the first 28 games of this season, they already have more than half that amount. It's legitimately a full transformation of a team in just one season, and they're only going to get better. You see, the San Antonio Spurs aren't a team that's made up of guys that are good and already at their peak. They're a team made up of young, future lethal weapons. The next face of the league in Victor Wembanyama, an easy future all-star in Stephon Castle, a player with 6 Man of the Year stats in Dylan Harper, and multiple surrounding threats. When you look at this team on paper, it's almost like they check all of the boxes in terms of what makes a team great. It's so impressive, it's not hard to think that this team is not to be messed with. I'm talking championship. I know that's crazy to say considering they didn't even make the playoffs last season, but I don't think it's that far-fetched to say. Because when you actually look at what championship teams have in common, the Spurs quietly check a lot of those boxes. First, they have depth. In pretty much every championship-worthy team, depth is a big factor. Even on a team as stacked as the 2017 Warriors were, they still had a solid bench. And just last season, the power of depth shined significantly more with the Thunder and the Pacers, both making the finals. More so in the Pacers' case because their top guys aren't necessarily the elite of elites. And the Spurs are kind of in that same bracket, just better. Because at the center of San Antonio stands a 7'4" alien named Victor Wembanyama, a generational talent unlike anything the league has ever seen, one capable of impacting both ends of the floor in unbelievably drastic ways. And then his team got way better, adding in De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, and the list goes on and on. However, it's one thing to have a deep team, but it's another to fit the NBA trend. Once again, going back to the Pacers and Thunder, both these teams play at a fast pace. The Pacers in a more traditional way where they are constantly going at you, and the Thunder more in the way of forcing turnovers, sprinting in transition, and scoring before you can even react. The Spurs are very similar, a lot of young, quick, energized guys that have non-stop motors, guys that run out in transition, guys that want to play defense and hustle for every board. It's this exact play style that has allowed the Spurs to beat very significant opponents, such as, you guessed it, the Oklahoma City Thunder themselves. Prior to the Spurs and Thunder matchup in the NBA Cup, OKC was reigning over the league with only a singular loss, pretty much just obliterating teams and having their bench guys play a quarter of the game. It's without question that the Thunder are the biggest threat in the league, and they have made that incredibly obvious. But the fiercest opponent isn't invincible, just intimidating.
Crossover, fires a 3, and it drops. Barnes over to Wembanyama, made the catch, fading away. Wembanyama at the elbow. Watched by Caruso. Wembanyama got it back, fires, and it drops.
Lie to you, then lose and break your heart. I had to tell you a lie and tell you the truth and leave you stuck.
The Spurs are NBA Cup giant killers.
The Spurs slayed the Giant and handed the Thunder just their second loss of the season. You can get down to the nitty-gritty of everything, but at the end of the day, basketball is a game of matchups, and we've seen it be the reason teams that shouldn't win games do. Bad teams can beat championship contenders simply because they match up better. And the Spurs are actually a very good matchup for the Thunder. They can match the double big with Chet and Hartenstein, they can match the transition play style, they can match the shooting, and they can match the defense. It's a common saying that defense wins championships, and it's true. There's never been a time where you look at a team with horrible defense and think this team can win a championship. And luckily for the Spurs, their defense is solid. Turnovers are usually the difference between who comes out with the win and who goes home with an L. Against the Thunder, the turnover battle was only a slight favor to OKC. 15 for the Thunder and 19 for San Antonio. But OKC really hurts you with the points off those turnovers, and that battle was nearly identical. 25 for the Spurs versus 26 for the Thunder. OKC's biggest separator is that stat, points off turnovers. The Spurs had eliminated that separator by doing just as good a job to the team that does it to other opponents, giving them a game they can actually win. A combination of young promising talent, a generational superstar, depth, defense, and simply the want to win sounds a whole lot like a championship team to me. And with the Spurs being an organization that has brought home multiple championships, I don't doubt one will be coming in the near future.